Let's start with the class. In the morning session, we had learned a lot about the latter five tattvas, and we are now going to talk a little more detailed version about it. Um, I will not ask you questions right now, but I will ask you questions as soon as we come halfway of the class, so that we learn first whatever I want to tell you in this particular segment. In the morning's class, we will conclude this chapter. But before that, I need to tell you a few things. Let's start with a little introduction of Uma Swami Acharya. I think you all have heard his name, Uma Swami, Acharya Uma Swami. I want you to tell me any one information that you have, and in case if you skip it, I will try my best to give you one. Okay? Let's begin with Yash. Yes,
So
Yash. No information about him?
I hear no
Oh, okay, okay. But where have you heard his name?
from my uncle. Uncle was the adhyaksha of our
Temple.
mandir, no?
Okay.
So mandir. So my uncle told me that.
Wonderful.
Name told me.
No problem, no problem. So I'll give one information from his behalf. And that information is he's famous for his one work. He's written only one book. And the name of the book is Tattvarth Sutra. What is the name of the book? Say it. Tattvarth Sutra. Very good. Chaliye, we'll go to Kunal ji. Kunal ji, any information about him?
Jai Pandit.
Jai Janin, Jai Janin.
Uma Swami Acharya is also known as Gridha Pitacharya.
Very good, very good. Very good. कुछ और भी बता रहे हैं आप, मुझे लग रहा है.
नहीं, Gridha Pitacharya.
Very good, very good. He has 5 names. He is known by 5 names. He is known by 5 names. Gridha Pitacharya and others as well. Need not necessary to talk about it right now. But then basic idea is, yes, he is called as Gridha Pitacharya because the reason is generally our monks have a pichi of Mayur Pank. That means More Pank, peacock's feathers. But in his case, he had actually lost one. So he prepared one for himself with the help of Gidh feathers. Gidh is another, good. I don't know what is the correct English pronunciation, English translation for Gidh. Somebody knows it?
Vulture, vulture.
Vulture is the right one. It came to me somewhere, but okay, fine. Vulture, as he says, vulture's feathers. He made a pichi of vulture's feathers, and so he's known as Gridha Pitacharya. There is another representation to it. Some say that his guru, like Kund Kundacharya, had made a pichi of vulture's feathers, and so he is also called as Gidha Pitacharya because he was a good disciple of him. So there are 2 stories which are going on. Yes, Sahaj ji.
Sir, I joined right now. Can you please tell me what's going on?
We are talking about the different anything, any detail of Uma Swami Acharya, and I'm asking everybody any one detail that they know. If they know it, wonderful. If they do not know it, I'm going to try one. Manya ji. Manya ji, any information about him?
I don't remember it actually.
No problem at all. I'll tell you one. Acha, somebody else is interested in telling one because you might lose in case if I tell one. Prateek ji, Praveen ji, Rohini ji, Sahaj ji, Swasti ji. Anybody who would like to share any information about him?
उन्होंने उन्होंने तत्वार्थ सूत्र शास्त्र लिखा.
Very good. He has written only one book, and the name of the book is Tatvartha Sutra, which is called the first book in Sanskrit. First Sutra book in Sanskrit in the Jain philosophy. Thank you, sir. Anybody else would like to tell me something?
Yeah, I remember one thing.
Tell me. No problem.
Rajapich Uma Swami ji was the Param Shishya of Kunkund Acharya Dev.
Yes, he is known as the greatest disciple of Kundu Kundacharya. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
So may I?
Yes, Sahaj.
So Tattva Sutra is also known as Moksha Shastra.
Very good. His only one writing, Tattvarth Sutra, is also known as Moksha Shastra. Like, see now, Tattvarth Sutra is Moksha Shastra. So Tattvarth are basically for moksha. Are you getting what I'm saying? So Tattvarth, whenever you are talking about Tattvarth, it has nothing to do with anything but liberation, moksha. मोक्ष यदि आपको पाना है तो तत्वार्थ को जानना बहुत आवश्यक है. तो 7 तत्वों के लिए मोक्ष ही सर्वोपरि तत्व है. वेरी गुड. एनीबडी एल्स? अच्छा, when was he born? Can somebody tell me that? मतलब when was he living on this planet Earth or India or anything? It's an important question, huh? I think nobody knows. I'll try.
वो तो मेरे ख्याल से कुनकुंदाचार्य के बाद के है, तो कुनकुंदाचार्य 2000 पहले हो गए हैं. तो मतलब should be early first century.
Wonderful. So basically he belongs to the latter half of the first century to the former half of the second century. तो पहली दूसरी शताब्दी ये उनका टाइम पीरियड था. From, in case if I talk about this AD, like what we have right now, it is 2020. So according to that, he was born after first century. But then according to Vikram Samvat, he was born, in the latter half of the first century to the former half of the second century. So 1 to 2 century, frankly can understand in that way. So that's the basic, borderline by which we are understanding it. Yes. Somebody saying something? Prateek ji, did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So this is what we know about him. I'll give you one more very good, citation from his book. Pandit Hukum Chandji Bharil. I think you know him. He is also, he is the person who has written the reference material of the book that we are studying. So Pandit Hukum Chandji is also known as Chote Dada, generally. He has written one quotation for him, and I'd like to cite that quotation in front of you. There are, some mythologies are known by their books. Like if I ask you an example, in Hindus, which book is considered to be the best book, or that book represents Hindu Dharma? Can somebody tell me?
Sir, Gita.
Very good, Sahaj. Thank you. Gita is known as, the Vedic version of, Hindu mythology. Very good. Acha, Swasti, can you tell me what is the book known for Christians?
Christians, Mahabharat.
Christians, which book do they refer?
Christians, Bible.
Bible, yeah. Okay. Thank you. I have somebody called Rakesh ji. Jai Janen, Rakesh ji. I think he's unable to listen to me. Fine. Whom should I ask the next question? Prateek ji. Yash, okay, you tell me. Which book do you know for Muslims?
Quran.
Arey wah, very good. So I think you all know what is the next question I'm going to ask you. Hence, which is the book which is known for Jain philosophy or Jain religion? Which is that book which identifies it?
It is Tatvat Sutra.
Thank you, thank you. What
It
is the
is
name of the boy,
Mokshastra.
Manyaji? What is the name of the boy, Manyaji?
What?
The boy who has answered the question, what is
Uh,
his name?
My brother.
What is his name?
He's Swayam.
Swayam. Thank you, Swayam, so much.
Swayam.
Okay. So the book is Tatvat Sutra, or you can call Mokshastra. This is the book which enjoys an equal status of, Gita, Quran, and Bible in their respective mythologies. In the same way, in Jain mythology, Tatvat Sutra is considered as one of the best scriptures, and it enjoys that particular standard which these other things, enjoy. Acha, fine. Somebody had answered few questions on the chat as well. Thank you very much. Okay, so this was it. We had tried to understand a little about Umaswami Acharya. I am going to give a small gist introduction in my next class so that the summarization of that particular thing can happen. Now let's move forward, and we were talking about the categorization of soul and non-soul into those five modifications: influx, bondage, stoppage, shedding, and liberation. These five modifications, asrav, bandh, samvar, nirjara, and moksha, they all can be concluded in two particular fundamentals, that is soul and non-soul. And after understanding that, we divide them in material and psychic. These are the two ways in which we divide them. So the material version is called as non-soul version. The non-soul version is called as material version, and the soul version is called as psychic version. इसको आप द्रव्य भाव के नाम से भी याद रख सकते हैं. So this is what we did in the previous class. I'll just give you a very small snapshot in front of you. Soul fundamental, the definition is one who knows and sees. Quite clear to everybody. Non-soul fundamental is the one who cannot see or know, is a non-soul fundamental. There are five dravyas which are comprised of five substances in this non-soul fundamental, and that is Pudgal, Dharma, Adharma, Akash, and Kal. So these five substances are considered as non-soul fundamental substances. Okay. Now we understood that in case all the six substances can summarized in these two tattvas, that is soul and non-soul, hence there are only two fundamentals, soul and non-soul. Now the question arises, what are we going to do with the other five? So the answer is soul and non-soul, when combined together for their modifications, these five modifications are called as five tattvas. I'll give you a very interesting fact to understand this. Soul and non-soul, if I talk about karma and jeev, there are only these five ways by which karma can be related to jeev. There are no other ways by which a karma can get related to jeev. I hope you're trying to understand. Whenever the karma comes, it's called asrav. Whenever it stays, it's called bandh. The dravya asrav, dravya bandh. Whenever it is stopped, it is called as dravya samvar. Whenever we start departing it partially, it is called as dravya nirjara. And when it completely parts our soul, it is called as liberation. Dravya liberation, or material liberation. There are only these five ways. मात्र ये पांच ही तरीके हैं जिनके द्वारा ये बात सिद्ध होती है कि कर्म का आत्मा से कोई संबंध है. दो संबंध तो उसके साथ में रहने वाले हैं, और तीन संबंध उससे दूर जाने वाले हैं. ठीक है. इसके अलावा कोई भी संबंध कर्मों का नहीं है, इसलिए भी तत्व साथ ही होते हैं। ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीबडी? स्वस्ति जी, इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, भैया.
हाँ, so one we had discussed in the morning session that why are these why do we have these 7 tattvas? So the reason was liberation is our goal. Without knowing the soul and non-soul, we are not going to be liberated. Hence 3 tattvas. These who doesn't know these 2 tattvas enjoys asrav and bandh, which are also called sansar, marg, and the one who understands them starts realizing themselves, so it becomes samvar and nirjara. Hence we have 7 tattvas. 7 तत्व ही होते हैं. Do not worry, Yash, we have a slide, you will get it there, do not worry. I'm giving you another reason for why there are only 7 tattvas. The reason is the soul and non-soul gets attached or related by only these 5 ways. ये जो जीव तत्व है और ये जो अजीव तत्व है, वो ये मात्र बाकी के 5 तत्वों के द्वारा ही समझा जा सकता है. मतलब जीव अजीव तत्व में जो संबंध है वो इन 5 तत्वों के द्वारा ही होता है, इसलिए भी तत्व साथी हैं. मतलब कि आश्रव, बंध, संवर, निर्जरा, मोक्ष के अलावा ऐसी कोई पर्याय नहीं है जिससे कि जीव और अजीव का कोई संबंध हो. ये 5 ही ऐसी पर्याय हैं जिनसे उसका संबंध हो सकता है, और उन 5 को ही समझाने के लिए आप समझ लीजिए लाखों लाखों पेज जैन धर्म की शास्त्र में लिखे हुए हैं. लाखों पेज जैन धर्म के शास्त्रों में लिखे हैं, सिर्फ इतनी सी बात को बताने के लिए कि ये 5 तत्व क्यों जीव और अजीव से संबंध रखते हैं, और वो जीव जो इनका साथ, जो आश्रव बंध के ही साथ रहते हैं, उन्हें क्या क्या विचारों को जिंदगी में भोगना पड़ता है, और जो जीव उन दोनों का साथ छोड़कर बाकी के 3 तत्वों का साथ निभाना शुरू कर देते हैं, तो अपने आप वो कैसे मुक्ति को प्राप्त हो जाते हैं. So this is how the whole Jainism works. This is how every line of Jainism can be understood with the help of these 7 tattvas. ठीक है? Okay. So this is what we have studied in the morning class. Where is one? Okay. Then we understood all these 5 modifications are related to soul and non-soul. If they are related to soul and non-soul, how can one thing be related to 2 things? So we have 2 examples. जैसे एक सिक्के के 2 पहलू होते हैं, एक बच्चे के 2 माता पिता होते हैं, ऐसे ही इन 5 तत्वों के 2 माई बाप होते हैं. कौन कौन होते हैं वो 2? एक होता है द्रव्य और एक होता है भाव. द्रव्य मतलब जो जीव वाली अपेक्षा से होता है उसे तो कहते हैं हम भाव, और जो पुद्गल वाली अपेक्षा से होता है उसे हम कहते हैं द्रव्य. ठीक है, यहां तक हमने सुबह बात कर ली है. द सोल वर्जन ऑफ मोड्स इज कॉल्ड एज साइकिक और भाव. द नॉन सोल वर्जन ऑफ द मोड्स इज कॉल्ड एज मटीरियल और द्रव्य. प्रवीण जी, so far so good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hence, all this dravya and bhav, they are both related to all the 5 tattvas. Like asrav is related to dravya and bhav, bandh is related to dravya and bhav, samvar is related to dravya and bhav, nirjara is related to dravya and bhav, and moksha is related to dravya and bhav. In English, we can say that the influx is related to material and psychic, bondage is related to material and psychic, stoppage is related to material and psychic, and so the rest too. ठीक है? Now we are going a little forward. This is also what we have seen in the morning. The material version, मतलब कि जो द्रव्य वाला पक्ष है, वो द्रव्य वाला पक्ष हमें ये बता रहा है कि उसमें कर्मों का सारा संबंध होता है. जो द्रव्य वाला पक्ष है इन 5 तत्वों का, वो हमें कर्मों का स्वरूप बता रहा है। कर्म आए तो द्रव्याश्रव, कर्म बंधे तो द्रव्य बंध, कर्म यदि आत्मा में आना रुक गए हैं तो उसे हम कहेंगे द्रव्य संवर। यदि कर्म एक देश या थोड़े कर्म आत्मा से चले गए हैं उसको हम कहेंगे द्रव्य निर्जरा, और जो पूरी तरीके से चले गए हैं उसको हम कहेंगे द्रव्य मोक्ष। ये तो हुआ उन सभी 5 तत्वों का द्रव्य वाला पार्ट, मतलब मटेरियल वाला पार्ट। ठीक है, इसे एक उदाहरण से भी आप देख सकते हैं। उदाहरण आपकी स्क्रीन पर है। आश्रव बंद के सिचुएशन में देखिए, एक छोटा सा गड्ढा हो गया था बेचारे की बोट में, और उस बोट में कैसे पानी घुसना शुरू हो गया है, और पानी घुसने लगा है तो उसमें भरने भी लगा है। फिर क्या हुआ, धीरे धीरे उसके हाथ में देखिए कहीं से उसको छेनी मिल गई है। पहले तो उसकी पुरानी वाली बोट में नहीं थी, अचानक से फिर आ गई है। उसके पास में एक छेनी हथौड़ा आ गया है, उस हथौड़े से उसने उस छेद को बंद कर दिया है, उसको कहेंगे हम संवर। और धीरे धीरे करके देखिए वो पानी, डार्क ब्लू कलर का पानी तो उसके बोट के अंदर थोड़ा है, और बाकी वो पानी को बाहर फेंकता भी जा रहा है, इसे हम कहेंगे निर्जरा। और जब वो बोट पूरी सूख जाएगी तो उसे हम कहेंगे मोक्ष। इस प्रकार से ये सभी 5 तत्वों का द्रव्य वाला एंगल, मतलब नॉन सोल वर्जन हमने अभी देखा। एनी क्वेश्चंस? नो क्वेश्चन, थैंक यू सर। ओके, अब जरा भाव वाली अपेक्षा से भी 5 द्रव्यों को देख लेते हैं। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। देखिए, पहले तो सिर्फ एक कर्म वाला ही एंगल था जिससे हमने 5 तत्वों को देखा था। यहां पर एंगल चेंज होते हैं। यहाँ 2 एंगल है। पहला एंगल है शुभाशुभ भाव और दूसरा एंगल है शुद्ध भाव। तो शुभाशुभ भावों का आत्मा में उत्पन्न होना, द जेनरेशन ऑफ merit and demerit nature is called as psychic आश्रव, influx. The consistency मतलब उसका बने रहना, तो शुभ अशुभ भावों का बने रहना इसे हम कहते हैं भाव बंध। ठीक है, so the consistency of merit and demerit nature is called as bondage. Which bondage? Psychic bondage. ठीक है, हमने ग्रुप पे भी इसके बारे में बात की थी, मुझे भरोसा है आपने एक बार उसे देखा होगा। स्वस्ति जी,
हाँ जी भैया।
कैन यू प्लीज मेक द सेंटेंस, मेक 3 sentences फॉर संवर निर्जरा मोक्ष इन द सेम वे?
Okay, the acceptance of pure nature of psychic version
is called the psychic version of stoppage. Very good. Next.
Similarly, development of pure nature is called psychic version of shedding.
Very
Emergence of pure nature is called psychic version of liberation.
So it's just that you have to move your eyes very quickly to form a sentence. It's just like that. Okay, thank you very much. तो इसका जरा थोड़ा सा भाव आप समझ जाएंगे ना तो चीजें बहुत जल्दी और बहुत आसान हो जाएंगी। देखिए, दुनिया में अशुद्धता सिर्फ आश्रव और बंध के द्वारा ही बताई जाती है, और जो अशुद्धता का अभाव होता है, अब अशुद्धता का अभाव आप कैसे करोगे? अच्छे परिणाम करके अशुद्धता का अभाव नहीं होगा, क्योंकि उससे भी संसार होगा। बुरे काम करके यदि आप अशुद्धता का अभाव करना चाहोगे तो वो तो होने ही नहीं वाला है, क्योंकि वे तो अपने आप में ही बुरे हैं। तो कहने का मतलब ये हुआ, आश्रव बंध बेचारे संसार के कारण है। और वो क्यों बेचारे हैं? बेचारे तो हम हैं जो ये जानते नहीं हैं कि आश्रव बंध हम प्रति समय कर रहे हैं। आश्रव बंध के बिना हमारी जिंदगी ही नहीं चल रही है। आपको पता है, अपन ने जो आत्मा परमात्मा वाला पाठ पढ़ा था, उस पाठ में ये समझ लीजिए, जो आश्रव बंध है, आश्रव बंध ये 11th स्पिरिचुअल प्रोग्रेस स्केल तक चलता है, या यूं समझ लीजिए 10th प्रोग्रेस स्केल तक, मतलब 10वें गुणस्थान तक आश्रव बंध आश्रव बंध आश्रव बंध आश्रव बंध कंटिन्यूसली चलते हैं। उसके बाद में जो 13th स्टेज होता है, 13th स्टेज तक सिर्फ आश्रव होता है, मतलब कर्म आते हैं लेकिन बंधते नहीं है, और फिर ग्रेजुअली एक स्टेज आता है कि कर्म आना भी बंद हो जाते हैं और वो आत्मा में बचते भी नहीं है और फिर जीव मुक्ति को प्राप्त हो जाता है। इस तरीके से समझ लीजिए गुणस्थानों से भी इन 7 तत्वों का बहुत गहरा संबंध है। ठीक है, शॉर्ट में कहा है मैंने, इसके बारे में और क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं, बट ग्रेजुअली जैसे जैसे हम परिभाषा पढ़ेंगे यू विल गेट टू नो व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट। फाइन, सो generation of merits and demerits is called as psychic influx। ठीक है, इसका एक शॉर्ट रूप आपको बस समझाना था मुझे। तो शुभाशुभ भावों से संबंध रखने वाला आश्रव बंध होता है और शुद्ध भावों से संबंध रखने वाला संवर, निर्जरा और मोक्ष होता है। ठीक है, शुभाशुभ भावों आई मीन मेरिट एंड डीमेरिट नेचर इज रिलेटेड टू psychic version of influx and bondage, and the psychic version of stoppage, shedding and liberation is related to the pure nature of the soul. This is what I wanted to say. Yes, somebody wants to say something. No.
भैया फिर कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ जो शुभ और अशुभ भाव जो हो गए मतलब हमारे, तो फिर उसके बाद एक्सेप्टेंस सडनली हो जाता है ये प्योर नेचर का, मतलब बीच का कुछ मिसिंग नहीं है?
Very good, very good, very good. That's a very, very good question. Yesterday I had a debate with somebody, on this particular topic, and it was a very good debate. Thank you very much, Swati, for the question. देखिए, like I ask you one small question. You tell me, when you are, you know how to cook?
Not much, but yeah, I can cook.
Tell me any one dish that you know how to cook.
Macaroni.
Acha, you know how to make a macaroni. Okay. Now, tell me this: when you are boiling the macaroni, has it been prepared?
As in, like it's in the process. No,
Very
it's
good.
not completely prepared. It's a process.
Fine. Now you just have to answer this question to me, that you have raw macaroni, in a box. Now that is not prepared, and you have a dish wherein it has been prepared. Matlab you have a, you have prepared it completely, and now you are having it. At that particular point, you are basically enjoying it, right? But this small stage in between, that means the process of making it is, is what is your question, that ये तो दो चीजें आगे पीछे की हो गई, बीच की चीज कहाँ चली गई? So I think this is what is your question. Am I right? Okay. So now my point is that वो जो बीच का है ना, उसको जरा समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. Now when I look at that from the point of view of a prepared macaroni, I'm going to say it is unprepared. Fine. Do you agree with that?
Didn't get it. Can you just repeat that line?
I'll repeat it. Sorry. Now keep that boiling stage in front of you. Now, when I look at the boiling stage, from the prepared stage point of view, it is called unprepared, right?
Yeah.
And from the raw point of view, it is called prepared or in the process of getting prepared, right?
Yeah.
Samvar, Nirjara are the points where that preparation takes place. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So in that way, it is just a way how you are looking at it. Hence, you start understanding. Like, I'll give you another example. We'll talk about generation and acceptance only. Have you heard of this? That understanding the problem is halfway reaching to the success. Have you heard of this particular statement?
Yes.
This is what is called acceptance. You have accepted that you have a problem, hence you have started looking at the solution. And this is what is stoppage, this is what is samvar, and this is what is that middle process of liberation. So it's like asrav bandh and moksha. Asrav Bandh are, raw macaroni, and moksha is prepared macaroni. And in between you have a particular thing which is called as, boiling macaroni, which is Samvar and Nirjara. Now this Samvar and Nirjara, if you do not understand that particular aspect of Samvar and Nirjara, acha, now when it is written in, when the macaroni was in the bottle, at that particular point, can you wave and prepare, the macaroni without following the process of boiling and then seasoning and whatever you do?
No, we'll have to follow the whole process.
So hence it proves that whenever the macaroni is set or placed in your cupboard, at that particular point, it is a raw macaroni. As soon as you accept that I want to eat it, which means you are looking at liberation. So once you are looking at liberation, whatever process you take against raw macaroni to start boiling it are called Samvar Nirjara, or are called the process of preparing macaroni. So जब macaroni पूरी prepare हो जाएगी तो समझ लीजिए उसका मोक्ष हो गया है. लेकिन वो acceptance बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. यदि आप accept ही नहीं करोगे कि मैं शुद्ध आत्मा हूं, कभी भी कर्मों का अभाव नहीं हो सकता है. यदि आप एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करोगे, यदि आप बॉईल ही नहीं करोगे, तो कभी मैक्रोनी तैयार ही नहीं होने वाली है. क्लियर?
So the way to liberation starts from thinking that
thinking is not the only right word. The right word is belief, knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
पढ़ा था ना हमने अंतरात्मा में. तो ये अंतरात्मा मतलब the starting of Samvar. As soon as you become, the lowest stage of Antaratma also, you start to have Samvar Nirjara, and hence there will be a point where you will reach to Paramatma, and that Paramatma is liberation. What else? Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody else is having a question? I think I really had a good time. Swati, thank you very much for that question again. Sahaj, any questions, my dear?
No, sir.
Thank you. Samyak, any question? Samyak. Samyak, any questions? Why do I get a feeling that he's going to say no? Samyak, any questions? He's not saying anything. Akshay, Labdhi, any questions? Say it.
No, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so by far we have reached to a little stage where we have started to understand the basic nature of these particular 5 fundamentals. And I'm definitely sure I'm never going to forget this example of macaroni in my life ever. Acha, okay, let's move forward. This is what we did for the last class, but then it was quite important for us to understand. This is the last slide that we are going to do today. And I'll just give you a very small, overlook of what we are going to do in the next class. So just have a look. We will talk about influx. Then we will talk about bondage. Then we'll talk about influx and bondage, their relations with their types. Then we will talk about this very important aspect. This is called Drishti ka Vishay, that is beyond impurity and purity. It's a very good point which will answer Swasti's basic question. Then we'll talk about stoppage of influx, and then we'll talk about partial release of bondage, that is shedding. And in the last, we'll talk about liberation, and that will take us to what should be abdicate, what should we desire, and what should we know. That means, a small part of it. Fine. So we are just talking about this particular point, that why do we have 7 fundamentals? Why only 7? So I had already answered this question. Would somebody answer this question for me? Praveen ji maybe. Why only 7?
क्योंकि हमारा जो लक्ष्य है वो मोक्ष है।
अच्छा, आप यही वाला बता रहे हैं, ठीक है, बताइए।
और हमें अगर इनमें से एक भी तत्व का सही जानकारी न हो तो हम मोक्ष मार्ग की तरफ नहीं बढ़ सकते हैं।
वेरी गुड।
जब हमें जीव का पता पड़ जाए, बाद में हमें अजीव और बाकी के पाठ का भी जानकारी और उसकी महत्वता समझ में आ जाती है।
Very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I had also talked to you about the relationship with karma. The jeev and karma are related by these 5 only. Hence, jeev, ajeev, and these 5. So in all, it becomes 7. Okay. So the relationship between soul and non-soul takes place in only these 5 ways. Hence, soul and non-soul, it becomes 7. Okay. So this is one representation. Now we are going to talk about another representation of why do we have only 7. Okay. So it starts like this. Our ultimate aim is liberation. हम सब मुक्ति चाहते हैं। मुक्ति का जो मार्ग होता है उसके बिना मुक्ति हो ही नहीं सकती है। मुक्ति का मार्ग है संवर और निर्जरा, इनफ्लक्स एंड शेडिंग। मुक्ति का मार्ग तभी होगा जब आप ये स्वीकार करोगे कि बंध का मार्ग है, दैट मीन्स इनफ्लक्स एंड बॉन्डेज। तो आश्रव और बंध को समझे बिना संवर निर्जरा समझ में नहीं आएंगे, संवर निर्जरा समझे बिना मोक्ष समझ नहीं आएगा। और ये सब क्यों करना है? ताकि हम जीव और अजीव को अलग अलग जान सकें। अनादिकाल से हम इन दोनों को एक कर रहे हैं। इस प्रकार हमारी क्लास यहाँ पूरी होती है। इसके बारे में कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं तो आप पूछ लीजिए, क्योंकि अभी अभी मेरे ख्याल से जो क्लास है वो खत्म होने वाली है, वो एब्रप्टली कभी भी बंद हो जाएगी। बोलिए।